All right, y'all, and we are recording now. It's not live; it's recording, and I'll upload it to the YouTube once we're done. All right. So, how you guys doing tonight?
Feeling pretty good. How are you guys?
I'm doing well, just enjoying my Saturday evening. Trying to turn my
Absolutely.
brain off from the week.
Yes.
Yeah, same. It's yeah, it's been a week. Yeah, I mean, I work in I work for a 401k company, and it's been pretty tough this week. You know what I mean, especially with tax season coming around. But today it feels good to talk to like-minded people. This is the Black Atheist Club. You know what I mean? I wish I had the sound effects for the claps, 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 claps. But this is the Black Atheist Club, and I just welcome everybody, people who are Black folks from around the world, of all nationalities, of all sexual orientations, are welcome here. If you are a non-believer, if you are an atheist, agnostic, or a skeptic, you know what I mean, and you are tired or need support for yourself, you know what I mean, this is what we're here for. This is the Black Atheist Club. I'd like to introduce my panel. This is not the entire panel. More people are going to be coming. So, Vita Singer, go ahead and you can introduce yourself first.
Hi, Hi, everyone. I go by the singer for obvious reasons. I am a vocalist and songwriter, spoken word artist, and I am I identify as agnostic atheist. And wow, I've been that I've taken that trajectory probably since 2004 or so. So almost, wow, 20 years that, I stopped being a quote unquote believer, if you will. Um, Currently, I am in the DMV area and enjoying my time here and just glad to be a part of the Black Atheist Club.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. Now, Shelly, go ahead and introduce yourself, and then I'll go last.
Hi, everybody. My name is Shelly. I am talking to you from the Midwest. I live in Ohio. I was actually born in Pennsylvania, but I've lived in Ohio majority of my adult life. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I would say I identify as atheist, though it is hard to tell people that I identify as an atheist. And I'm sure we're going to get into that, if not tonight, in upcoming sessions that we talk about. I'm sure we're going to get into that. And I would just kind of like to, talk about the reasons why I'm not just going to walk up to someone and be like, hey, I'm atheist. So that's pretty much it. I would say um I don't know how many years that it's been that I identified, as an atheist. I think my deconversion from Christianity was kind of like a slow burn, quote unquote, just kind of moved, just gradually moved out of it. But I would say probably for sure, um, since probably 2014, I guess, 2015 for sure. Um, and I love it here. I love it here. So that's about it for me.
All right, Sean, thanks for that. And like I've said, this is not our complete panel. We're definitely gonna have more. We'll have more guests. We'll have more people on. I definitely want to bring other prominent Black atheist YouTubers on, and we can go ahead and have a discussion. I'm gonna introduce myself. I am Volsi. As y'all can see, that's not really a typical American last name, and that's because I am from the West Indies. My parents are from the island of Haiti, and as everyone knows, well, probably not everyone, the stereotype is that Haiti is a big voodoo island, but I'm gonna correct that now. Haiti is majority Catholic, 80% Catholic, and they are very, very hostile towards voodoo. As a matter of fact, very hostile. You know what I mean? And I find that to be very, very sad and a shame because I feel that voodoo is what gave us our freedom. It wasn't Catholicism. It wasn't white Jeebus. All right, that's not what gave us our freedom. It was Shango. It was Yamoja. It was Oshun. those are the people who gave us our freedom. You know what I mean? But given all that, I do identify as agnostic atheist, which means that I don't know, but I don't believe it. I think I've been this way for probably about 5 years, but I was afraid to say it. One thing that we don't talk about, especially in atheist circles, is well, as far as I would say for us as Black people, is how much pain this was to let go. I grew up in the church. For a lot of people who grew up in there are people who grew up in the church that were that didn't have a good time. You know, the church hurt them a lot, and that pain is valid. Me myself, I actually didn't have that experience. You know what I mean? Growing up, a lot of my fondest memories, I have this on my TikTok as well, but a lot of my fondest memories were actually growing up in church, especially around Christmas and New Year's time. Christmas and New Year's time, I wanted to be at church every single day because my friends were there, my community was there. We were always doing things for Christmas time, we was always doing things for New Year's time. And for Haitians, our Independence Day is also New Year's Day. So on New Year's Eve, going over into midnight New Year's Day, it was always a huge celebration. Not only celebrating the New Year's, but also celebrating independence. You know what I mean? So my fondest memories were always at church. So letting this belief go, it hurt. You know what I mean? It really, really hurt. It didn't hurt. The church actually didn't hurt me. I was hurt letting it go. You know what I mean? But just like Shelly said, I love it here because I feel that I didn't lose something, I actually gained something. And what I feel like I gained is basically my humanity. I feel like I gained humility because when I was Christian, I felt that I knew everything, and people who didn't know as people who didn't believe as I believe were ignorant people who were going to suffer the consequences, and they deserved it. And that's a very inhumane and a very arrogant position to hold. You know what I mean? So ever since I left it, I felt that I've gained much more humility and much more of my humanity back. You know, one thing that Shelly was alluding to before was the fact that talking to others about this is extremely hard. And I've always wanted to build more of a secular community, and it seems I'm finding it more online because I live in Florida, which is a lot of people don't realize it's the Bible Belt. It's still the Bible Belt down here, even in Miami. It's still the Bible Belt. You know, there's literally a church on every corner. If I walk that like a block down, there's a church right on the corner. You know what I mean? And then if I walk a block in that direction, there's a church right over there. So we're the Bible Belt down here, even in a city as even somewhere as sinful as South Florida, as sinful as South Florida. We're still the Bible Belt, you know. So I definitely want to get into that. You know, has it always been difficult, y'all, to find your tribe, so to speak? What do you guys think?
I think yes, in person, definitely, because most of my friends are either Christian or I don't know how to explain it. They're not Christian, but they believe in a quote unquote higher power. Like they still
Oh
believe
my
in God,
God.
but they don't identify as Christian. So
Mhm.
it's very few people. And again, like what we were talking before, for me, there's very few Black people that I really know in person that kind of share this same thought process. I don't want to call it a belief system. I mean, in a way it is, but they're very few. But again, just like you said, it's for me, it's more so online, and I'm grateful, and I just hope that um, I hope that this video really kind of gets into the algorithm, and we really kind of start to build a YouTube community. And there already is. In fact, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm sure we've heard of major YouTube channels and stuff like that. There's a couple of them that even focus on Black people as well. But
Mhm.
it's good to add to that. So I hope that we really that this really kind of gets into the algorithm and people can really find community here.
Oh man, definitely. Go
Yeah,
ahead, B. I'm sorry.
I wanted to add that yes, I too have found my tribe online as far as those who identify as atheists. lots of white people, non-black people, but it seems like the black community is entrenched and engulfed and hard clinging to religious beliefs and practices.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say religious, I mean the major, like Christian, Muslim. There are some
Yeah.
who are Catholics, but it's
Mm-hmm.
mostly the big two: Christianity,
In Islam.
Baptist, or yeah, or Islam. Uh, I think I am the only one in my well, I don't know. I'm not gonna say in my family, but I'm definitely one who identifies as agnostic. My niece might, maybe, but I'm not sure. Definitely don't have any friends who are well. Currently, I don't have any friends who are identify as either agnostic and or atheist. I did have a former friend who, well, a couple of former friends who were staunchly agnostic, one agnostic slash atheist, and that was great. And I mean in
Mm-hmm.
person. But you know, I don't associate with those people anymore. So right now, as it stands, I think the very few friends I have in real life are believers. There's a friend I have here who lives in the DMV, and I don't know if she's always been into church, but I know that, you know, she is. She's a believer. She goes to church and everything. And I think during a text message conversation, she said something about praying for me or something like that. Something to do with God. And I said, well, you know, I really don't believe anymore. And she said, oh, well, I'll just keep praying for you until you believe again. And I'm like, what?
That's not how it works.
Yeah. And I think maybe if she's been checking out my Instagram or my stories, she's probably getting more of an idea of the fact that I don't believe. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Um, so you know, things like this irritate me when people just don't seem to get it, especially friends, and they pull away or they're just like, wow, how can you not believe? And it's just very, very difficult to run into a black person, man or woman, who does not believe, that they are not clinging tightly to the belief of a God or Jesus or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at you like,
You're the
you
crazy
need
one.
help. Yeah, we
Right.
pray for
Right.
you. Girl, what's wrong with you? You're going to
Uh-huh.
hell. So it's very, very difficult. And I think before I got into more community online, I really didn't express it. People didn't know it because I just felt like, yeah, they're. I know I shouldn't care what they say, but I think there will be backlash. But now I don't care.
Absolutely.
Now
Absolutely.
you know, I really don't care what they say or think. It's like if you're allowed to freely think and freely say that you're a Christian, I should be allowed to also freely say I don't believe, but it's not set up that way. Not really.
Yeah,
Yeah. You're
exactly.
absolutely right. You're absolutely right about that.
Yeah, is that and the thing is like we were talking about this, before we started recording, but I started to notice that too. Is like people get offended if you say that you don't believe what they believe, and it's really strange because it's like what I mean. The thing is they're not offended that if you're a different religion from them, they'll be offended that if you say I don't believe nothing at all. You know what I mean? So it's
Right.
It's
like
like, okay, you don't have to believe what I believe, but you at least believe in God,
You
right?
believe it in something?
no,
No.
In
Actually,
something.
no.
no.
Yeah, and when I was dating, man, guys were weird about it. It's like, you believe in God, right? It's like, no, I don't really believe in anything. And then
Nah,
I would,
bro.
right, and then
Like,
I would
nah,
get I'll pray for you, or well, we can go to church. No, I just told you I'm not
no.
interested. So it is weird how people think that what you believe and how you live your life somehow affects theirs, or they think because you are different you're somehow impugning the way
Hmm.
they live.
The way they live.
And I'm going to say
Hey,
that that speaks not only to religion but also not having kids, but that's a different episode.
Ooh, that's
So
a different
Oh,
episode.
we gonna
yeah,
talk about that, honey, because I'm right there with you. So yeah.
it's like the my how I live or has nothing to do with how you live, or as they say, what I eat doesn't make you poop. So I respect your beliefs, respect mine, everything will be cool, but that's too much like right for some people, I guess.
Exactly. And the thing is like about 2 years ago. It's been about, yeah, 2 maybe 3 years now, and that happened to me with the relationship that I was in, and I was really in love with her. You feel me? And I really cared about her, but like what what kind of one of the reasons that inspired her, or I would say pushed her to end the relationship, was because she knew I didn't believe the same way. You know what I'm saying? I was at that point where I was saying that I was agnostic. I was like, yeah, I don't think this is true. You feel me? I was at that point in my life, and I just couldn't admit that I was atheist at that point. And it was really one of those really big things that we'll always discuss. And I was like, yo, if you want to be Christian, go ahead. Like, I'm not stopping you. You feel me? We could still continue on in the relationship. It shouldn't stop us. And then, she'll get mad at me because she'll be like, oh, I don't think, I can live that way. And, and it's wrong because of the Bible says this, that, and the third. And I'll be like, yo, you were just taking back shots 5 minutes ago. What you mean the Bible says this, that, and the
Right?
third? What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about, yo? And she'll get mad at me, and I was like, yo, I'm not. What am I saying that's wrong?
I'm so done. I'm
Like,
so,
for
and I just find that there's just so much unnecessary guilt and shame. Even honestly, even when I was a Christian, there would just be guilt and shame, even about just natural, sexual, consensual, healthy sexual relationships. There's just such a big element of shame. And then later for me, I just kind of started to realize, like, you're sinful. You don't deserve, like, you don't deserve God's grace, but he's going to give it to you anyway. You're but a mere speck on the, like, and I'm just like, why do we think about ourselves like that? Why do we tell our children that we were literally born into sin? I'm like, I can't get jiggy with that. I just can't. So like, for me, kind of over time, that was one reason why, for one thing that kind of started to spark the flame, if you will. Like, why do we have to tell ourselves that we're just less than? Like, society may do that already. Like, we don't need to hear that. We don't need to come home and hear that. We don't need to go to church and hear that. We need to really uplift each other. But the flip side of that coin is, a lot of specifically Christians will say, yeah, religion is uplifting. And my thing is, like, is it really? Like, this is not uplifting to me?
I agree. I really do feel that the basis of religion is control, specifically mind control and hypnosis. Because when
Yeah,
you go to
seriously.
church, it's like a ritual. It is a ritual. You're in the church, you're
basically,
around everybody, you're singing songs, and the preacher is modulating his voice, and you're getting into it, and then all of a sudden you feel what they call is the Holy Spirit, and people are falling out and jumping around, and all this stuff is happening. It's a ritual. And the words that are spoken are basically to make you feel some type of way so you can be more malleable to the
mhm.
ideas that this guy in the pulpit is
Yeah.
spewing forth.
Yeah.
So it is literally meant to break you down in order to think that religion has to build you up, and it's the only way that you can feel something, achieve something, do better
Something.
in
Yeah.
life.
That's
Without
true.
God, you're nothing. You have to serve him, and you definitely have to go to church, and you got to pay your tithes. It's all a cult, all of it, and it is control.
Yeah.
And I was gonna my bad, Chad, I'm just add one more thing. I was gonna add that because when you guys were talking about Christianity not being very, very uplifting, one thing that made me realize that was the concept of hell. Because right now, when if you talk to a lot of Christians, right now they've been sanitizing hell. But when I was growing up, hell was not sanitized. It was a place of fire and brimstone.
Yes,
And
literally, right? Like not
yeah,
even figuratively, right?
literally, exactly. And one thing that I realized when I was Christian, and the hell gave me a problem, because we're supposed to be these loving, forgiving people, right? But at the same time, I believe that this person who's done good all his life, but just simply grew up in another country where they didn't have Jesus or whatever, or he was a Hindu, all those billions of people are going to be suffering forever, even if they were good, righteous people their entire life. It did not make any sense to me at that point, and I saw how dehumanizing that was, because like if you go up to a person, right, and like I asked this to every single Christian, I asked this to every single Christian, I asked them, "Do you believe I deserve to be tortured?" That's a simple question. Do you believe I deserve to be tortured? And if they say no, and it'd be like, well, according to your theology, because hell's not even in the Bible, but according to your theology, I'm gonna suffer forever by demons and pitchforks and gnashing of teeth or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna suffer forever and be tortured forever. Is that what you believe I deserve because I don't agree with you? Yeah, I mean, if they say yes, they've already proven our point. You dehumanize people. So why would I join an organization, a religion that not only enslaved my ancestors, but dehumanizes people, saying that we're nothing, we achieve nothing without this, you know, wizard in the sky. You know what I mean? Why would I join an organization that says that people who don't think the same way I do deserve to be thrown into fire and tortured forever? It's dehumanizing. Christianity is dehumanizing. Point blank period. You know?
Period. Period, point blank. And then, it's just so crazy. Like for me, honestly, y'all, when I was like in Christianity, I didn't really think about it like that. But I know I was afraid because my parents are boomers, so their parents, I don't know what generation before that, but their parents were old, you know what I mean? And hell, just like you said, but like hell was not this figurative thing. It was like you are going there forever and you will burn,
Uh-huh.
like you will literally burn for the rest of your life. And then I read this book. I don't know if y'all heard of it before. Oh, y'all, what was it called? A Divine Revelation of Hell. I don't know if y'all ever heard this, but it was like this
Yes.
account of like
Yes. A
the
person
the
walking through hell with Jesus. Yes, I
yeah,
remember that
Yeah,
book.
I've heard of it. It's
That
like,
yeah.
book made me
where did
so
you
Y'all,
come
I
scared,
from?
couldn't
bro.
sleep, y'all.
I could.
I couldn't
Oh
sleep
my
for like
god.
a month, y'all. I literally like
I
for real.
was petrified.
I slept with the lights on, y'all. Real talk. So let's just explain to the viewers if they haven't read that book or if they don't know about it. So
Oh yeah, the Divine Revelation of Hell, right? It was by some author. It's a Christian.
Mary K. Baxter, Mary
Mary
Ann
Kay,
Baxter, something
Mary
like
Kay
that.
Baxter, something like
Mary
that.
Baxter, yeah.
Something like that. And she changed her name to like Mary Brown or Elaine Brown or something like that. Just crazy lady, right? Crazy lady. So she said that for 3 days she had a dream where Jesus himself took her to hell. So Jesus took her to all the layers of hell. She said she would see like people trying to escape pits, and once they get up, the demon will come by and push them over the pit. She said that she saw, old pastors and Christian pastors who were there in hell, and they would be praying and praying and praying, but Jesus wouldn't save them. She said that she would just basically be walking with Jesus through hell, and she would see people who committed abortions, of course. She would see all the Hindus and all the Muslims, of course. Yeah, I mean, and it was just like this crazy thing. But the way that she described the way hell is, it petrified you to death.
To
Yeah, I
the
mean,
to
to
your
the core.
core.
She
Yeah.
also said that there were people who would be like having sermons, like church sermons in hell. And I mean, reading from the Bible and saying, one day God will save us and stuff like that. But they're in hell, of course. So God's not coming in. Jesus would pass by and just weep and, saying, oh, you're already here already. I can't save you and stuff like that. Like, bullshit like that. It's like, but it petrified you.
Yeah,
It
and
sounds like she was on some heavy duty drugs.
right.
Yeah,
She was having a
yeah,
real bad trip. I've heard of the
yeah,
book, but
yeah.
I've never
Oh,
read it.
it was the imagery. I mean, it was really enough to just make you be like, "What is happening?" And I think like one of the common themes from the book was it. It's better. She said it was better not to know God ever than to know God and turn your back on Him. And
Mhm,
that goes. I mean, I think that was all throughout the book. Like, y'all, it's been years and years since I read that book, but um just going back to what we said about like the control, like, and I don't think obviously people who are in it, they don't realize, they don't realize that that's what it is, but it is a form of control. Like, you better not ever, first me, and then you separate yourself from me.
mhm.
V, and I wanted to go back to what you said kind of along those lines. um where you were talking about kind of like church sermons and how they open it up with music, and everybody's I know, like, in black churches, we will say, we're not starting the word until everybody gets on one accord. I'm like,
Mhm.
y'all don't know that is I don't know if you guys ever heard of genetically modified skeptic. He's a YouTuber.
Yes.
His videos are really, really great. He has one where he talks about that, and I think they actually studied it. He broke down like the music, the lighting,
It's
just
manipulation.
everybody,
Mhm,
and how it kind of gets you, quote unquote, into that mood. And again, I think when you're in it, you kind of don't realize, like, hey, you are being manipulated. You're being
mhm,
manipulated to be open to whatever it is that's going to come out of that pastor's mouth, whether it be you're unworthy, whether it be give me all your damn money and then we're going to come back and you give me more of your money. You're,
mhm,
you're being manipulated to being really subjective, and yeah, subjective to that, to whatever it is that the person is saying.
mhm.
And
And
no, go ahead.
oh no, I mean, I was pretty much done with that, but I just kind of wanted to circle back to what you said again. A genetically modified skeptic. I forget what video, he has so many videos, but as soon as you said that, I was like, yep, that's
That's
how
what
it
I
is.
remember as well.
Yeah.
That's what I
That's
remember as
exactly
well.
what it is. It is hypnosis. It's to
Mhm,
get you into a certain state and to get capture your mind so you can be easy to manipulate, and you feel the feelings, you feel the highs, you feel the lows, but mostly the highs. And when you are in that state, you don't realize it because you feel really good and you are opening yourself up to whatever else is going on. And yeah, but they'll never tell you that. They know what they're doing. They're tricksters, they're magicians, they are on the side of the road selling you a bottle of get well pills, knowing that they're just
mhm.
aspirin. You
Exactly.
know,
And you know what is you know what it is, like that's I kind of find it bittersweet, right? Because since I grew up in church, a lot of the songs that I we sung in Creole and everything like that, it was all to usher us into the Holy Spirit. And what I find so sad about it is that it's all manipulative, right? But when I think back to those songs, I still get a sense of comfort from it. Do you feel what I'm saying? Because no
yeah, I
lie,
know
when
exactly what you mean. It's like I don't believe in any of it anymore. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
that was good.
I don't believe in any of that stuff anymore. Like, I'm a former Jehovah's Witness, but some of those songs, they still pop up in my mind. It's like, why
Mm,
am I thinking about it? It's because they use it as a form of control, and you sing the
mm,
songs over and over again. And it is to make you feel good. And music, in and of itself, is something that resonates with people and it gets into people. That's why, as singers and such like that, you have fans, you have people who are vested in your music. It's the same
mhm.
way with religious music, and all going all the way back to slavery times. That's how they coped. They started
Exotic
making
code.
hymns and gospels. And yeah, some of that music still pops up in my mind, even though I don't believe in it anymore. But it's
Mhm.
because there's still, remnants of these attachments. It's weird, but it's like, what am I thinking about this Jehovah's Witness song for, or this Christian song? It's But that's part of the method of control.
It is, and let me tell you, like, because I've had Apple for a while. You know what I'm saying? Even since I was Christian, so a lot of my music and playlist, like, it's still it updates around for me. So like I had Kirk Franklin from like years ago, and it popped up on my phone to just today because I still have him. I never deleted it, and I was listening to it driving in the car. I was like, this shit still slap. Kirk Franklin still slap. You know what I mean?
Right?
Yeah.
It
I
The
still
don't believe in
sounds
it anymore,
the
good.
but
music
it
itself
sounds
is good.
good.
Yeah, the music itself is good. Yeah.
Exactly, and the thing is that, like I said, like I still think about those old, I have a video on my TikTok, and you guys could watch it. About a young me experiencing my mom sing Haitian hymns when I told her I had doubts in the Bible. A lot of those songs still pop up, and like it's like, yo, I actually really like this song, but I don't believe in it anymore. But the thing is, what I'll always say to people is like, that's not a bad thing. You know why? Because we have a bunch of heavy metal music that's about Norse mythology, right? There's a whole genre of that, all about Norse mythology. No one believes Thor is coming down with his hammer anytime soon. You feel what I'm saying? So if we have music about mythology and other genres of music, and our genre of music was about this mythology, why not? You know what I'm saying? That's how I view it now. It's just that people unfortunately take it serious. But if we can get to a point of in humanity, or at least in the community, where most of us don't take it serious, but see it as a remnant of old worship music that just sounds good, I think we'll be in a better place, and people wouldn't feel as weird as liking the old music. You feel me?
Yeah, I definitely agree, but it's hard because the fact still remains that, a lot of people in our communities, this is the truth. Like, how could you not feel anything? How could you not, that's what people would say, when,
Mhm.
especially us as Black people, because we just, I don't know, we just kind of have that connection to music, that type of thing. But,
Yeah.
they'll be like, I've heard some Christians say, how could you not know, how can you think that God isn't real, when you hear that music and when you hear that choir singing, don't you just feel it down in your spirit? Honest to goodness, y'all, I don't know what year it was, maybe 1918. Y'all, I went to Pittsburgh with my friend, and I saw Beyonce when she was doing the On the Run tour. I forget what year that was, y'all. When she came on stage, something just like came over me, And I'm like, I felt the same way when I was like seeing Beyonce dance, and you know what I mean? So, like, to me, that's more like real. But the fact
Mhm.
still remains, like, it kind of doesn't matter which way you kind of go. People can be kind of under that influence, in certain situations. Everybody, the first song she opened up with, everybody was screaming, rocking out, you know what I'm saying? And everybody was just kind of like, quote unquote, on that accord, you know what I'm saying? But
Be
yeah.
careful. Beyonce's a demon.
Oh.
It's all witchcraft. It's all witchcraft. She's trying to add people more to her cult. You know what I mean? Her and Jay-Z with the diamond. It's all 666
Right.
with the
Right.
diamond in the eye. You know?
But
Oh
yeah,
my
I
gosh.
I get that because, as I said, music is one of the things that moves people, and so what you're feeling at a Beyonce concert is how you feel there, and just like people at church, that's how they feel. They're related to the religion and the movement of the spirit. So
Right.
yeah, music
Yep.
definitely moves your spirit, like you said,
Mhm.
Shelly, in one
Exactly.
way or the other. It's
Exactly.
just that for us, it does not relate to religion as it
Exactly.
once had. And lots of music moves me. Not so much gospel or Christian music at this point in my life, but definitely other music definitely moves me and makes me feel good. So I get that that's what they're saying,
Mhm.
but again, that's more specific to their religious experience. And so, like I said, it's all about control and making you feel a certain way. That's why they want you to go to church. And kind of going back to what was said before in relation, mostly to your former partner, and her saying she just couldn't be with you or live that way, which what way are you living if you decide to be in partnership a romantic partnership or a spouse to someone who doesn't believe? What's the lifestyle? I guess that you're not going to church and you don't believe, and they are, but they are supposed to believe in not being unequally yoked anyway. But like you said, she's taking back shots and having sex and basically
Period.
hanging off the rafters. And
Exactly.
that's another thing, of course, the hypocrisy of it all. We could talk about that in another episode, which might relate to dating, specifically dating,
We're
black
definitely gonna
men
get into dating. Oh my god.
specifically, because I don't really get that with, and I haven't really done it a lot, but dating others outside my culture. But there are more, I guess, white atheists or people are more accepting of it in that way. So that's a whole different thing. So yeah, it's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, you know what? We can really get into that because atheism is seen as a white club a lot. You know what I mean? I've even gotten that before when
Hmm.
people told me, "What do you mean you're atheist? You're black." You know what I'm saying? So it's I've seen that.
Exactly.
I've heard that
Exactly.
before. You know what I mean? It's seen as a white club, and not only amongst black people who are religious, but there's been a lot of activism for black atheists as well. With black non-believers, Mandisa Thomas,
Yes. Yeah.
women of non-belief, women of color of non-belief. I think it was the conference. She did a conference I think last year, and
Yeah.
there was a presentation called "Atheism So White." You know what I mean? And it was about the fact that within atheist activism and communities and circles, white men really control the narrative or run it all. And it's the reason why it's a shame is because you don't get those intersectional views. You don't get a diversity of views. You only get usually the views from the white perspective and usually white males. Unfortunately, we hear a lot of people from Richard Dawkins and the Christopher Hitchens and the Sam Harrises out there who said that they're sick of hearing about intersectionality and stuff like that. But the thing about that is that it's important because my perspective as a black atheist is not going to be yours as a white one. You know what I mean? We get completely different experiences from that. You know what I mean? Non-religion from white folks, even though there are a lot of white people who are Christians and apologetics, the William Lane Craigs and Alvin Plantingas and those people like that, even though that exists, um, people are still more accepting of a Sam Harris existing than a James Baldwin existing. You feel me? Because James Baldwin wasn't not only criticizing religion, he was criticizing you as part of the privilege of society. You feel what I'm saying? So I feel
Right.
that I feel that intersection is what a lot of white male atheists really don't want to deal with. You feel what I'm saying? Because that gets into politics and they don't want to talk about politics. They just want to stick on criticizing religion. And every single time I've seen, uh, a lot of white males give, shift more into the political side of atheism, they fall flat on their face. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the reasons why I had to unfollow Thunderfoot. I had to unfollow, the Amazing Atheist, because they started going on these alt-right type rants against feminism where it's just like, yo, y'all obsessed with this lady, bruh. Like, chill
Right.
out. You feel what I'm saying? And that's something that we one of the reasons why I built this, but one of the reasons why I really want black non-believers and skeptics, not just agnostic and atheists, but skeptics, people who are questioning. Because when I was questioning, I didn't have that. I didn't have this community. You know what I mean? So I definitely want to build this community because, just like V said, dating as a black atheist is hard. Oh Jesus Christ! Dating as a black atheist
Yeah,
is
it is.
So
It
no pun
is.
intended.
no pun intended. No pun intended. No pun
Yes, don't
intended.
get it twisted. We'll say that name, but
Yes.
that doesn't really
Yeah.
mean anything to us other than a phrase or an epithet.
Exactly.
Yes. That's right.
Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted. Exactly.
That's
So
right.
yeah, dating is difficult, but finding that community, people who actually understand you, is also difficult because I can talk to white folks about this, but I want to talk to people who look like me because they will understand it a lot more. I feel.
Facts. There's a lot of intersectionality happening just in general being a black woman, a dark-skinned black woman, a fat dark-skinned black woman, and a child-free dark-skinned fat black woman who was also agnostic atheist. I'm nowhere even on the margin.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
off the page. I'm way out of space. And dating and just relating to people, again, that's a whole other topic. So I'm just not even on the page of marginalization at this point. So there's a lot happening.
yeah. I definitely get that. Well, see, that's funny that you would say that that was kind of like your experience on kind of the white side of atheism, because when I kind of started to follow people, just specifically online, like nobody like that I knew in person, but online, I have found not every white person or white man, but I have found some of the most liberal white people that are atheists who obviously, and see, they'll say things like they really can't talk for black people, and they thank you because they can't. But I have found some of the most liberal white people who are atheists. I know, everybody knows Dillahunty. I think he's very, very liberal
Dillahunty.
with stuff.
Mm.
Jimmy Snow. I mean, like they have had some videos like just really coming down, providing facts on kind of like the right wing
Mm.
kind of thing there. Another person, I know I mentioned genetically modified skeptic, but he doesn't really get into politics that much. And I forget his name. His YouTube channel is Fireside, Telltale Fireside.
Telltale, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I do
yeah,
like him.
he's really. I think is his name Owen. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, Owen Morgan or something like that. But
Yeah,
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 but
like Telltale. He's
right. So
amazing.
yeah, he's good, and I mean, they will have, and they come against other white people too. I mean, granted, it is they come out against the religious aspect, but they've talked about injustices that black people have and everything like that. So I've found, excuse me, on the atheism side, YouTube atheism side,
Mm.
that it can be very liberal. But it was good to hear your kind of perspective about that. Nonetheless, I'm glad again that we're here, talking about our issues and representing ourselves. And I hope honestly that everybody can listen to this and learn to this. Yeah, we do want to, focus on black atheists, black agnostics, but I'm sure that everybody, even religious people, no matter what color you are, hopefully will learn something from us. Honestly, that's really what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's what I'm hoping for as well. I already know, like, the thing is, when it comes to the black parts of YouTube, outside when it's outside of politics, is definitely within religion. So I'm pretty sure there are gonna be plenty of those black Christian YouTubers who take a look at us and
Yeah,
want to
come
come
talk.
up and talk to us. Hey,
Yeah,
listen, the thing is, I'm all about building more of a community between black atheists. But the thing is, I don't be ducking smoke. That's the thing
right,
with me. I don't be ducking smoke.
right.
So if one of them want to come up and come up here and talk to me, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? I'll just have it as my night because I know a lot of us are not gonna want to be part of that. You know what I mean? And we talked about this before between ourselves, where we find that the atheist spheres is a lot of debating Christians, and it's a waste of time when we could just
Yeah,
be supporting each other. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
I
you're right.
completely agree with that. I completely agree with that. We could be supporting each other. But I'm sorry, person. I'm a little controversial. I mean, I'm a little I'm a little abrasive. So I don't duck smoke. So if any of them call us out, I'm gonna say like, yeah, I'm be like, y'all, I'm sorry tonight. I gotta go ahead and deal with this person. So,
Right, right.
you know what I mean? But I just want to make a promise that this is not going to be one of those pages. It's not going to be the pages where we're just going to be debating Christians all the time, or debating Muslims, or debating Hebrew Israelites. I do not want to debate Hebrew Israelites. I'm sorry. Like,
No,
no, no,
no.
no. I don't want to do it.
Yeah,
And and the reason I don't want to do it is because, listen, these people will get us shut down because of a lot of the anti-Semitism. So
right. Yeah, we're just starting off. We don't need that.
we
Yeah,
don't
you're
need
right.
that.
You're
All
right.
right.
You're right.
And not only that, basically, even if you bring them all the evidence in the world, they would still not care. You know what I'm saying? So there's no point. There's really no point. So um there are some people. There might be days where I'll go ahead and host a discussion or a so-called debate or whatever, but that's not gonna be all the time. This channel is gonna be more geared and more built to fostering and building a community and talking about our issues as Black atheists. Inviting more prominent Black atheists on so we can speak. Talking about Black atheism through history, through for lack of a better word, fellowship. And I don't feel that religion should take has monopoly on that fellowship.
That's right. And
And
community as well
community,
too.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah. That just goes, I think that kind of goes to um just the thing about just atheists in general. Y'all, when I was younger, I used to think that atheists I don't want to get a shadow ban, but I used to think atheists did like horrendous things. Like I used to think atheists were like vampires and stuff. I don't know if you ever thought about that. And then like over
I know exactly
time,
what you're
I'm
talking
just
about.
like, man, some like like you guys, like we have our conversations, and I just be like, man, some not everybody, but like some atheists are like the best people that I know. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And again, just like what you said, I don't think we need to let religion take that from us. I don't think they need to take a community and fellowship and everything like and morality. They don't need to take that. Like we can show that, hey, we're human like everyone else, but we're actually good people. Like I think it's important to kind of establish that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think the thing is to try to make people, well, specifically, and to clarify, I think a lot of religious people want to demonize, figuratively and literally, atheists or agnostics so they can have a one up. It's like, like on Clubhouse, all these people would come into the room and try to say, well, what is your morality? What is your stance? Where do you gain your morality? And it's like from the same place you do, within learning, community, common sense,
Laws, rules, common sense.
common
Common
Yes.
sense
sense,
and
exactly.
critical thinking. Just because we choose not to believe in a God or Jesus
Mhm.
or any of that does not mean that we are less moralistic people, that we don't have values and we don't use common sense. It's like, I think people just want to tack that onto atheists to make us look bad so
Exactly.
they can look better. I really think that that's the whole point of it, when we're all just human beings here. We're all
Mhm.
having this existence and we're all trying to just survive until we get to the next plane. But there's divisiveness, there's racism, sexism, and all that stuff also thrown into the pot of religion as well.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, when people do that, when they come in and it's like, what is the basis of your morality and stuff like that, the answers that we give them, they know they can't answer for those things. They know they can't. So they moved on to being philosophical hacks, talking about what is the ontological basis, which is a question that makes no sense at all because ontology is the nature of being. And when you say so you're basically asking what is the nature of being of your morality, which is it's like asking why is blue blue. It's a stupid question, So I took philosophy courses before. That's the only reason why I kind of know it. You know what I'm saying? But trust me, when anytime you answer that question, trust me, they're gonna move on to that next question that I asked you. What is the ontological basis? Which is a stupid question. It's a very stupid question.
It's redundant.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
very redundant.
let's
Is
leave
it?
leave us be.
Leave us be exactly.
Please. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, and on that point, let's go ahead and get some final words. And just like I said, this channel is going to be for us to build a community, to talk more about our issues. There may be some discussions where it does get, because we're still different people, so we might have this discussion where we disagree with each other, and that's fine. We're all human beings at the end of the day. We're all going to care about each other at the end of the day. There might be some nights where someone might say, I want to come up and discuss this with you because I've been studying, Christian apologetics or whatever, and I'll let you up and I'll talk to you. I mean, no one else is though. because they're not interested in that. Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be me and you talking, buddy. But that's all good and well. I mean, I don't dump the smoke, but this channel is gonna be primarily dealing with people who look like us, who are questioning, who are agnostics, who are skeptics, who are atheists. We definitely want people here, and we don't discriminate against any sexual orientation. We don't discriminate against any nationality. Ain't no diaspora wars over here because I'm tired of y'all in these
Period.
diaspora wars.
Period. Yes.
Ain't no gender wars here either. All right, the patriarchy sucks. That's our position. You can fuck off if you don't agree. That
Facts.
I'm sorry.
Facts.
I'm sorry. Ain't gonna be no gender wars here. Yeah, I mean, yeah, dude. Are there some improvements black men and black women can make? Yes, that's it. That's what we're gonna leave it at. Patriarchy sucks. That's it. You feel me? That's all we're gonna say about that. All right. So those are my final thoughts. What are you guys' final thoughts? Anyone can go ahead.
V, you can go.
So yeah, thank you so much for kicking this off, Fosi. It's so much appreciated and needed. I know that we have the Black Atheist Club on Clubhouse as well, but it seems like everybody's kind of fallen off of Clubhouse and we're not even on there as often. But this is appreciated. I'm grateful. And I'm looking forward to having more conversations and discussions and seeing where it can go. And there, as you know, as it was mentioned, there are some platforms out there talking about it, but not enough. Not enough for Black atheists specifically, and not enough people to say, "Hey, I feel comfortable. I'm going to come forward and talk about it." So I'm glad that this edition is here, and again, I'm just looking forward to building our community. Thank you.
Absolutely. I just wanted to say that, if you're listening to this and you're kind of struggling, things are not making sense to you when it comes to your religion that you basically were given from birth, please know that you have support out here. There's a whole online community. Granted, we are trying to grow and trying to get, be more visible, but you don't have to go through this alone. It's okay to use your brain. It's okay to use your logic and say, hey, this shit does not feel good to me. It does not make any sense to me. I'm gonna go ahead and put this down, and talk to people who understand. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And if you're one of those people, welcome to the club. We have cookies. They got weed in them too. Like,
Period.
Animals.
and we got some edibles. Yeah, I mean, we got some edibles though. Don't listen to your pastor no more. He'll know what he's talking about. Hey, listen, them edibles, they're not opening the gateway to demons. All right, ain't no demons out here. The only demons
Right.
is the ones that's in the strip club. Let's go. You ready? You know what I'm saying? So, all right, y'all. So that was it. That was our first episode. Let's go ahead and plan next week. What y'all want to talk about next week? I want to talk about dating next week because dating seems like it's gonna be a real good topic to get to
Yeah,
that.
let's, and
I
hopefully
think
we can.
dating will be good. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
hopefully we can get more people. But even if it's just the three of us, I'm sure we'll have stories for days.
Oh, fun days, fun days. So let's definitely do that. But all right, Shaw, it was a pleasure. I'll see y'all next week.
All right. Y'all
All right,
take
same
care.
here.
Have a good
Thanks, you too.
night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.